you must live your life in infamy because you are a Nigerian. Yoruba man has spoken. Nigerians are not sincere. As I didn't tell you before. He's a Nigerian, no? He's telling you that their people are not sincere. Did I not tell you before that they are not sincere? You want to know what is insincerity? I will give it to you the way it is. Because the zoo is patently evil. Nigeria is evil. Do you know how much they stole? 400 billion pounds is in Europe, is in Asia, according to UK group. Ocean Zoo, the amount of money they steal will start off a tsunami. 400 billion. Very close to $1 trillion, an amount of money that can build second Niger bridge, pay for free education for every child, make sure that all roads are built, you have running water, you have electricity, your university is funded. 400 billion pounds stolen by the monkeys, and blame it on these people. You have 400 billion pounds stashed in 3 continents. They are the elite. These are the people that America wants to give weapons to. The world must hang itself in shame. The whole world must be ashamed of itself. You want to give guns to people. You want to give jet fighters to people. You want to give aircraft to people who are complicit in the impoverishment of their own people. These are the people responsible for the impoverishment in Africa, the poverty in Africa, the premature death, the hunger, the disease that they are suffering from. These are the people you want to sell guns to. You want to sell guns to somebody who has gone out to bank 400 billion pounds. $1, not naira. I said pounds. 400 billion. This news is being reported by white people, the UK group, they call them. Now you understand why they want the zoo to be one. Now you know why they want one Nigeria. Because the so-called Nigerian politicians, they steal all the money meant for your child's education, the money meant to give you soft loan to develop your small business, the money designed to make sure that rice is grown locally, the money that should make sure that Nkalago cement factory is working, Golden Guinea Omaha working, ceramics, Aba textile mill, Mbise paint and resin Nati clay factory. All the money meant for all these capital projects, they are now overseas in people's private accounts. Some of you cannot go to hospital. These are the people responsible for it. They are called the elite. They are called politicians. They are called governors. They are called senators. They are called House of Reps members. They are called House of Assembly members. They are called local government chairmen. How much have they stolen? 400 billion pounds. If you go inside the sea and say 400 billion, tsunami, earthquake, tsunami will start. That is serious money. Nearly $700 billion, very close to $1 trillion. More than the budget of the zoo put together for many years. These are the criminals. That is why I say that black people are criminally minded. These are the funds stolen from poor people. But it doesn't affect you, does it? Of course it does. If you are running a generator tonight, that is the reason why you are running it. Your money was stolen. 400 billion stashed abroad. Africans are not ashamed of themselves. I am ashamed to be called an African, I'm telling you. Very, very ashamed. And who are the people stealing the money? Who are the people stealing the money? Amechi, Chibike Amechi. He has stolen the money, and people are now describing it as a moral burden for Buhari. I told Chibika Amechi, Awasa will not save you. Awasa will abandon you. Chibika Amechi is a thief. He is one of those implicated in having 400 billion pounds stashed away abroad. 400 billion stashed away. 400 billion. I tell you. 400 billion. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. I can't understand what is happening, to be honest with you. I can't understand what is going on. But the criminality...
As long as you are an indigenous person where you are, stand up for your right. The Fulanis, the terrorists, who have their brothers in the top echelon, or the echelon of political power in the zoo called Nigeria, are having this as a lifetime project to establish themselves. How can people who come from nowhere succeed in chasing away the original owners of the land and taking over their properties? This spirit of timidity in all of us in the contraption called Nigeria in Biafra land must indeed give way to a spirit of courage and boldness. The Most High God can never come down from heaven to fight for us. We shall fight or we perish. It is a legitimate aspiration on our side, and it's going to be a reality that our land shall belong to us. If anyone wants to come to our land, we shall give those people condition. They are embarking on e-registration. Everybody must stand up against it. That e-registration, just like they have come up, rolled out Ruga Settlement Project, and now National Livestock Implementation Project. They are all geared towards settlement or resettlement of the Fulanis illegally on your land. Everybody must stand up, or you will see what will happen to each and every one of us in the near future. Our leader, Mazen Namdekan, predicted, prophesied about what is happening today. 3-4 years back. Today it is happening. You called him all manner of names. But today, all of you are living in shame because you cannot, as it is, come out boldly. You cannot summon up courage to come out and apologize to IPOB. You cannot summon up courage to admit the obvious. But I know, and it has been confirmed, that in your quiet time, you confess, you say the obvious.
I want them to come. Remember what I told you many years ago? They will kill us, we will kill them, in the end Biafra will come. Everything I tell you comes to pass. They will know that gently they will come, they are foolish. By nature they are very hopeless. They will come. This time around, we will turn Biafra land into a burial ground for terrorists. They will understand how serious we are. We have raised it, it's no longer coming down until freedom is declared. They understand that very well. They understand that very well. There is need for us to remain focused. Going into this 2021, focused. Don't allow yourselves to become distracted. That was what happened to us during the war. Had we fought that war up until August or September of 1970, we would have won. That would have been victory. Nixon would have stepped in. That would have been victory. But we gave up, as we always do. After a little, mental toughness is not in us. After a little thing, we just give up. Look at Trump, how Trump is fighting. It is not, why don't you concede now? Oh, why don't you give up? Hey, give up now. Let's leave it for God. Let God do it. Trump said no. Because in a first world like the United States of America, any hint of electoral fraud ought to be investigated. These are white people. You think they're going to tolerate? You think they are black Africans? No. This time around, we will turn Biafra land into a burial ground for terrorists. They will understand how serious we are. We have raised it. It's no longer coming down until freedom is declared. They understand that very well. They understand that very well. There is need for us to remain focused. Going into this 2021, focused. Don't allow yourselves to become distracted. That was what happened to us during the war. Had we fought that war up until August or September of 1917, we would have won. That would have been victory. Nixon would have stepped in. That would have been victory. But we gave up as we always do. After a little, wrong mental toughness is not in us. After a little thing, we just give up. Look at Trump, how Trump is fighting. Why don't you concede now? Oh, why don't you give up? Hey, give up now. Let's leave it for God. Let God do it. Trump said no. Because in a first world like the United States of America, any hint of electoral fraud ought to be investigated. These are white people. You think they're going to? You think they are black Africans? No. I'm not saying that Biden did not win. I'm not saying that. But there are evidence of electoral fraud, and it is being investigated. Look at all of you in Africa. Look at all of you are debating. How many people are on the electoral roll? How many people actually voted? Can you match their signatures? That is how human beings listen. In disease, let's leave it now for God. Hey, it's 2023. Let's leave it now. This you black people. We must be focused. A lot of things are happening. And this evening, I must make you understand this. We are not folding our arms, and we're not going to allow them to overrun us. They have overrun parts of Benue. That is their game plan. That is one thing Omahi doesn't know. Wike doesn't know. All these idiotic governors, or maybe they know. The allure of being a vice president to a Janjaweed is what's propelling them. Do you know that Benue State they want to install a Sabwana in Otrubo? In Otrubo, they want to put Sabwana there. Now, let me say this thing to the so-called middle belt. Of course, Otrubo is part and parcel of Biafra, but let me, for the benefit of this very analysis, let's call them middle belt. Do you remember that you fought against Ojukwu? Do you remember that the same propaganda they're using now to get some of you they deployed it in the middle belt? They told Ojukwu is here to take over the land, to dominate them, to make their life a misery. They seriously fought against Biafra. But today, the man that told you that Ojukwu is your problem is planning to install a Sablana in Otrubo. What does that mean? Because some of you don't know history. You have no knowledge of history. Some of you go through Zoo primary school, Zoo secondary school, Zoo university. You know nothing. You're being as one man, there was a professor that said that a graduate in Nigeria is more dangerous than an illiterate, because half education is dangerous. You know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Look at your history books. The same game they played in Gobe, in Sokoto, is happening now at your doorstep in Otrubo. Sablana in Otrubo. This is for one Nigeria for you. Anybody who lives in Nigeria, I swear to God Almighty in heaven, at least that I am live on air, I don't regard you as a human being. Once you get up and say, I am a Nigerian, heaven knows you are lower. Before my sight, you are lower than an animal. You're not Nigeria. Ojukwu is your problem. Nibo is your problem. Nambikami is your problem. Biafra is your problem. You have to first.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great dear friends and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra House Service coming to you through the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Olo province of Biafra land. Today is the 7th day of June in the year of our Lord 2022. Today is Tuesday. Without taking any other time, I will hand over the platform to the head of the Directorate of States of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Mazi Chikaidoziem. Mazi, over to you, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mazi Jonathan. Can you hear me?
The whole world is hearing you crystal clear. Please go on, sir.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night to you all great Biafrans, lovers of freedom, and those men and women of good conscience. Depending on your time zone, I want to say once again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. My name remains Mazi Chikaidoziem. I come from Ihe Oma. Ihe Oma is in Olo province of Biafra land. By the grace of Chukwukika Abiyama, I serve the indigenous people of Biafra in the Directorate of State as the head of directorate. I bring you warm greetings, great Biafrans worldwide, especially those of you at the war front in Biafra land. Warm greetings from the supreme leader of this great movement, Onyenumazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has all of us in his thoughts and prayers daily, and he extends his warmest regards to those of you who have remained loyal and faithful to this very movement and the fundamental principles and objectives that are guiding this very movement. Last week, precisely on the 3rd of June, Friday, last Friday, I brought to the attention of the international community, the attention of world governments, the attention of politicians in the zoo, Biafrans in all walks of life. I brought to the attention of those who call themselves leaders in our land that there is a coordinated, well-planned agenda to continue the war of 1967 to 1970 against the Biafran people. That war is essentially to ensure that we remain subservient and dispossessed of all dignity that we, the Biafran people, are known for. But before I go on to continue on this series of very important broadcasts, I wish to remind all Biafrans once again, especially those in the diaspora, that all roads must lead to Brussels on the 14th and the 15th of June 2022. That is just next week, a week from today. All roads must lead to Brussels. The Biafran, Ambazonian, and Oduduwa Yoruba Nation 1 million man march comes up on this very date. Therefore, you must not be told. You have to experience it. You have to be part of this event. You have to be part of history. So I give once again the directive to IPOB family members worldwide to begin, if they have not already done this, if they have not already prepared their travel documents and gotten the tickets for their trip, they should waste no more time and do the needful. Also, last week at the same broadcast, I informed that our core campaign against BBC's fake news, misinformation, and propaganda against IPOB, which BBC, as a matter of fact, is running on behalf of the Nigerian Fulani government, continues for the next 2 weeks. There shall be no retreat as far as we are concerned, and there shall be no surrender while we are pursuing our inalienable right to self-determination, our innate right to live as a free people in dignity and in honor in our own land. We shall not retreat, neither shall we surrender, and we will not be scared or be intimidated by anyone. It does not matter who that person will be, because for us, this life that we are living without Biafra, it doesn't make any meaning. It doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't make any sense. So it behooves all of us. It becomes mandatory upon all of us to ensure that we do all that we have to do to make sure that Biafra comes, and Biafra must come. That is the only way we can live to the full that spirit of Chukwokike in us. That is the only way we can live to the full and bring to fruition the dreams of seeing our children and children's children live a life of honor, dignity, a life filled with real values, and a life that will be fulfilled or fulfilling, and for which they will achieve all their dreams. It is only Biafra that will provide this opportunity for them. Some of us, of course, we do not have so much more on earth to live for, but it is our duty to bring the coming of Biafra to fruition, to make sure Biafra comes, and then they will begin to build a nation in accordance with the precepts and direction of Chukwuka Abiyama. Therefore, this campaign continues. It demands the participation of all hardcore Biafrans, and as well of all those who are in support of the freedom, not only of the Biafran people, but of the nations that have been brought under the jackboot of colonial rule, which Britain played a very, very prominent part in, and they are still playing in this new colonial era. The time to ensure the freedom of the African nations, starting with Biafra, is now. And we can do this when we face down those who were instrumental to the condition that we have found ourselves in at the moment. BBC was the #1 media house in fact, they turned the story of the Biafran genocide upside down. They made it not to be seen by the world. The atrocities that Nigeria was committing with the full knowledge, support, and provision of military hardware by the British government of that time. For that reason, the prime minister at the time was so heartless that he said that even half a million dead bodies of Biafran children will not change the British policy of supporting the zoo, to make sure that the zoo remains one and for them to continue to milk your resources for their own benefit. Therefore, we must continue our campaign that the British Broadcasting Corporation, the British Bias Corporation, or whatever they call themselves, they must pull down their blatant falsehood against our leader and against IPOB. They must pull it down, and if they do not pull it down, we will continue this very, very battle with them until we achieve our objective. Now, to the main topic of this series of my broadcast. We have been seeing, those of us on the ground in Biafra land have been seeing the atrocities being committed by the agent provocateurs. The atrocities being committed by the enemies of Biafra. The barbaric and unconscionable evil that has enveloped our land. And why is it important for IPOB to harp on this matter very, very seriously and continuously? The reason is simple, because our silence, if we decide to keep quiet, it may be misconstrued. It may be taken as if we are ceded or we are acquiesced to the false allegations and falsehood being peddled and propagated by the Nigerian media and those in the government of the zoo, also what they propagate in the diplomatic circles around the world, that IPOB is a violent organization, that IPOB is causing mayhem in Biafra land, that is the eastern part of the zoo, that IPOB is killing, what do you call them, security operatives and things like that. So it is important that we state the fact as it is and make the world understand that the Nigerian government must be held completely and totally and absolutely responsible for the criminal activities going on in our land, for the crimes and for the killings, for the kidnappings, for the beheadings that is happening in the eastern region, as they will call it, right, which is Biafra land for all of us. Let me say something, and let me make it very, very clear to those who do not understand. And you begin to ask yourself, will this actually be the objective of Oyen Numazen and the Kano, or the IPOB leadership and the movement which he set in place, or which he put up? The fact remains that each time Each time some of these killings occur in the East, each time there is a kidnapping, a killing of a northerner, for example, like the Hausa woman that was killed, or the some of those situations where northerners were targeted. A northern person was targeted. We remember the time they killed the former APC chieftain, on his way to the airport in Imo State, and they said IPOB, and we were asking, what do we have with? We have no business with politicians. We have this man. We have nothing to do with him. So why will, in a reasonable person's mind, why and how can IPOB be responsible for that? But at the end of the day, we know who were responsible. We said it and we made it open who were responsible. At the end of the day, although the zoo police, they will, without investigation, they will come out, because they are playing the book that they are just playing the book that was given to them to play. The scenes in this book, the plot that has been already planned. The zoo security agencies have the scenes where they have been, penciled down to act and to do as they were told. They will come out when these killings happen, and they will go to the media and say IPOB is responsible, ESN is responsible. When the truth will begin to come out, the shameless people will not even come out and say and claim that they have been misleading the people. So what I'm trying to say is that each time some of these killings occur in the East, bear in mind that our people are in danger in the North. Not only that they are in danger, many lose their lives. Some will be stopped on the road, they will be marched out of their cars, and they will be killed. And nobody will talk about this. Nobody will report about this. No media will carry it out. Targeted killings of Biafrans in the North. It is happening on a daily basis. Happening on a daily basis as I speak to you tonight. So you should ask yourself, IPOB that is fighting for the emancipation of all oppressed nations in the zoo. Oyendu, he made it very clear, not once, not twice. And the first time he was under incarceration, he was the one speaking for people who were maliciously and illegally detained in the DSS. He contributed to the freedom of many of them, because he is the leader of the Biafran people, but his heart is so big that he accommodates every suffering nation within that contraption called the zoological development. So what is the benefit? I'm throwing these questions to those who will, point their accusing fingers at IPOB or ESM. What will be the benefit of us putting the lives of our people in danger with committing such barbaric crimes in Biafra land? Certainly, there is no benefit, and therefore it does not make sense for anyone to even imagine that IPOB will be involved in killings of people who have done us no wrong, people who have not stand or in any way they have not blocked our way to freedom. What will be our benefit? We must remember, we Biafran people must not let history repeat itself. We must remember, and those who are young must be informed, that 1967 to 1970, not less than 5 million of their brethren were massacred for no just reason. 5 million of a population, because at that time I heard that the population of Southeast was almost halved by the genocide of 1967 to 1967 to 1970. And why were we killed? Well, why were our relatives, why were they murdered? Why were they massacred? Why was the genocide levied against a nation, against a people? Because we said we want to live a free people. We want to live a life of honor. We want to live a life of dignity. We want to make sure that our children, they have future. We want to make sure that we live in a land that has values, and of course, we want to make sure that we protect not just our heritage, but our identity as Biafrans. That is the only reason they levied the genocide upon us, and that is the same reason that they are killing our people as I speak to you tonight. And when the genocide was going on, nobody spoke for us. Nobody, the international community, nobody did anything. They watched us being massacred. They watched us being starved to death. They watched the blockade of air, land, and sea. They watched, with a few exceptions of men who have the fear of Chukwuabiama in them, with a few exceptions of these people, the total population of Biafra will have been starved to death. Because according to Awolowo at that time, he said that starvation is also a weapon of war. It's part of it. They don't want to, they said they will not feed the enemy and give them strength to come and then to fight better. So we must let this thing sink into our mind. And when the IPOB is now fighting for the restoration of what was before, actually said there was a country. Even before the amalgamation, even before the British people, Freddy Lugard even was born, or his ancestors who became thought of giving back to him. I want to let you know that you already have a nation, a kingdom, the Biafran kingdom. And it was a nation and a kingdom that spread civilization the world over. You have a history. This is what IPOB is fighting to restore. That Incase will have his will in all of us, and they allow the talent he had and gifts he had given to us. We will use it for the good of humanity, and of course, to glorify his name. We must therefore, when we realize that the enemy does not, or they do not wish us well, we must not help them to exterminate our race. Let us not play into their hands. Let us not play into the hands of those who hate you. Nigerian government does not like you as a Biafran. They are not hiding it. They are not hiding it. And I'm not even going to go into their music, but what is happening in the politics, we show a reasonable person. Even those politicians, the politicians that will, last time they told us it is your turn in 20 after 1999, it will be your turn, and then another 4 years your turn, another 8 years it will be your turn. and na so turn they go to turn una, and your head go to turn, and you are still there, hoping that one day to be your turn. They will not give you anything that will make you, expose the mediocrity or the terrible situation that Nigeria has become. It is a graveyard for intellect, for invention, and Biafrans will not have anything to do with that. That is why I'm saying we must not play into the hand of our enemies, because they are gradually but systematically once again killing us, committing crime in our land, killing us in every part of the zoo, and setting up the only force, the only movement that stands between them and their total conquest of the South, which is IPOB. They are doing their crimes, committing their crimes, and through their media, they are setting up IPOB to take the fall. And some of you are playing into that. Some of you, I've been assisting them to do this. But the way our leader said it, if that Chukwuoke was not the one who sent him on this journey, he would just step aside. He will step aside and ask the ESN operatives to stand down. 1-2 weeks, the Fulani will show you people what they are, why they are called the Fulani. And you that is thinking that when they come, you are probably an elite or a politician. You've seen how that nobody is going to be spared when they come. In fact, they will even begin from the houses of the big men and rich men, because they have at their houses their gate men as house Fulani people. They will start with you and start with the farm. So in essence, the Nigerian state is engaged in state-sponsored killings in our land, state-sponsored crimes in our land, state-sponsored kidnappings in our land, and state-sponsored terror activities in our land. In order, the only objective is to weaken IPOB, give it a bad name, tell the international community that this organization is violent. Of course, we have maintained and we have said it time without number that we are a peaceful movement. We are a peaceful movement fighting for the self-determination of our people in accordance with international norms and charters and international rules. That is what IPOB is. But the Nigerian government, they want you out of the way, because you're blocking their way of fulfilling their age-old desire to Fulanize the South and Islamize the South and dip their Quran in the Atlantic Sea or Atlantic Ocean, whatever they call it. And those of you who are playing along with them, well, I will tell you that at the end of the day, Imambo, you will not be up, you will not be down. You will be rejected all. Because after Biafra comes, I don't know what a person who sold their people will want to come and do Biafra land. And you go to the people that you help to sell your people, they will tell you, here is not a place for you, because we know that you can easily sell those that you work with. So that is the reason why I am telling everyone tonight that this idea or this desire to paint IPOB and ESN as the committers of all these crimes in land must stop. It must stop. IPOB, we know, we do not have as much funds or resources as the Nigerian government to embark upon the kind of propaganda which they are embarking upon against IPOB. That is why they could easily have the BBC to be making a report, a very, very evil intended report, and and watch as they brought out that report. The crimes in our land increased twofold, because they already want to put it in the mind of people that the crime that has been going on was being committed or we are being committed by IPOB. Now, after they have brought out that their report, the crime increased, and the same agenda and the same what they intended to achieve objective is that the people will look at IPOB as the perpetrators, as the culprits, and then hopefully the international community will say, and okay, now you people are killing civilians. You are no longer pursuing your avowed self-determination non-violently, but you have become a militant movement. Therefore, you're going to be designated one thing or the other. That is the only objective of the Nigerian government, and I don't think we must play stupid if we don't realize that this is where all this is going for or going towards. And to make it worse, your leader is in the hand of the enemy and they are committing these crimes. At the end of the day, they will say, he's the leader of the movement that is committing all these crimes. How do you think that will pan out with the court case that our leader has with the zoo? That will be coming up, of course, shortly this month. So don't play into the hand. We are all in this together. Whether you belong to IPOB or you don't belong to IPOB, you are an indigenous person of Biafra. Whether you are sympathetic to our cause or you are not sympathetic to our cause, when the chiefs are down, when they go in the north to begin to massacre people, they are not asking them, are you IPOB member or you're not IPOB? They massacre because they know you. It does not matter whether you're Igbo, you are Izon, you are Efik, you are Anang, you are Opobo, just name it. So long as you are from the old eastern region, you are Biafran, and you are a target to be dealt with in the north when they begin their killings and burning of properties and peoples in sub-livelihood. The activities of these people, it is affecting our people also that are being held in the zoo and also that are being held outside of the zoo. Will a reasonable person, is that the objective of IPOB, to make life so difficult for our people outside who are incarcerated for no reason outside of the zoo? Which these people that we fight for their release, that the Nigerian government, once they know that this person is from East, they leave your case there. They forget you because they know you are all fighting for Biafra. So that is the question I'm asking, because I have questions to ask. That I only want to ask a lot of questions that will agitate your minds tonight. That you can go home in the quietness of the four corners of your home or of your house or wherever you may be. You begin to reason Use your common sense. These people that are saying that they are accusing IPOB of all these crimes, does it help? Does it in any manner help IPOB to achieve their objective? It does not. Therefore, it is not IPOB that is responsible. Those who want to stop IPOB are those who are responsible for these crimes. The activities of these criminals, it also contributed to the new advisory or country policy that was recently issued by the UK government, now with qualification that some people who seek asylum and they who come from Biafra land will probably be looked first as members of IPOB. In fact, that means you're already guilty before you are even once you say you're from the eastern region. They will already assume that you're part of the IPOB that is fighting for the restoration of Biafra, and also that is as propagated, as falsely propagated by the BBC and the Nigerian media that is causing kidnappings and killings. And like this evil that they are doing, it's affecting not only those in the war front in Biafra, not only those of our people in Biafra land, but those who are held in very abject conditions in different detention centers and military barracks and dungeons of the DSS. These killings are affecting their well-being. Many of them are simply dragged out and murdered and killed, and that's it. Nobody talks about it anymore. This is not what our leader, why he set up IPOB. This is not why he set up ESN. And these crimes cannot and are not committed by IPOB, neither are they committed by ESN. People must hear this. We will continue to say it until it sinks into our heads and our brains. It is in no way part of our objective. Committing these barbaric murders and kidnappings, beheadings, it cannot help us achieve our objective. Therefore, there's no way we can get involved in it, because our objective cannot be sacrificed for any reason, which is the coming of Biafra cannot be sacrificed for any reason. And not to talk about simply going about committing crimes and killing our own people, or killing people that reside in our land, and think that is anything to help us in our march to freedom. It's not, it doesn't work that way. So my point is that people should look outside of IPOB and ESN when these crimes are committed. Look direct to where it's coming from. The Nigerian security apparatus are involved. They are in charge of it. They are financing it. They are giving every form of logistics to those who carry these things out, and they give them protection. Simple. It is not. It doesn't require or demand anything complicated to understand that this is what is going on and this is what the Nigerian government is doing. Their nightmare is IPOB, and anything that they can do, they don't care who becomes the victim. Anything they can do to try, and I want to use the word, to try and see if they can stop IPOB, they will do it. But I promise them that, like I always say, this battle has gone beyond this match, because heaven is on our side, because our cause is a just cause, because we are not asking for anything that belongs to anyone else. We are asking for what is intrinsic in us and intrinsic in every normal human being. Freedom and liberty. That is what we are asking for, and that is what we must get with the restoration of Biafra and freedom for our leader, Onyemazi Nnamdi Kanu, who must, of course, lead the children of heaven into the sovereign and independent free Biafran nation. I want to let you again to understand, it's not that we are not aware of this. And like I just said it a while ago. Try and give the dog a bad name and then hang it. That is the coordination of all this media attack that is going on against IPOB and ES. They want to use the activities of these criminals to damage our hard-earned image and goodwill within nations. Because as I speak to you, 100 nations or 100 countries plus, you have IPOB duly, legally functioning as an entity recognized by the law, by the authorities of the land, and IPOB are working in accordance with the laws and the rules that operate in this land. Terrorists do not do that. Criminals do not do that. Therefore, that they are trying very hard to spoil our image. People, those of you who are, helping them to do this, and your day will come. Your day must come. Your day must come. Because some people will call it, I don't know, some will call it karma. But whatever you call it, those who are one way or the other, complicit in these sustained attack against IPOB and the structures that our leader put in place, and against the ESN operatives, whose only duty is to secure our forests and our farmlands so that our mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and uncles can go to their farms and do their farm work peacefully and come back home as it used to be in the days of old. That is why ESN was formed, and they will continue to do that job, and they will do it perfectly well as they are doing it at the moment. Therefore, they are not in the cities, they are not in our towns, they are not in our villages. Anybody who is committing any atrocity in towns and villages and cities of Biafra land, know ye that that person is either is a proxy working for the zoo, or directly from the Nigerian security apparatus, or their Fulani terrorist herdsmen, who they are, of course, like we said already, they are giving them protection in army barracks all over the southeast. Onya Boras shouldn't also hate himself. If someone hates you for no just cause, for no just reason, because you answer a name that glorifies Abiyama, because you are talented, because you are tall, or because you are very intelligent in school. If somebody hates you for such mundane reasons, will you hate yourself? Certainly not. You will not hate yourself. Therefore, we did not make ourselves as Biafran. Chukwokike knows why he made us Biafrans. You cannot. This identity is nothing. Is not anything that you can wash away with soap or any form of. You can't take it away. It is in your DNA. So because Chukwu Abiyama made us who we are, we cannot hate ourselves. We must ensure that we preserve that thing that He has put in us and use it for the benefit of mankind, benefit of our people, and use it to glorify the name of God. The Nigerian government, including our neighbors, they already hate you as a Biafran. They already hate you as an Igbo man. They already hate you as an Igbo man, as an Igbo man, as an Efik man, as an Anan man. They already hate you. Whether you say you be Kwere or Anyoma, they hate you already. Will you hate yourself? Should we also give them fuel and matches with which to burn us? Should we do that? By fuel now, I mean give them all the support with which they will use to finally, nail the last nail on the coffin. The government will rather watch all of us burn than even attempt to put out the fire that is consuming the Biafran people. Therefore, do not be part of this, because as I tell you, and I will tell you tonight again, if you're involved in this criminality, in this abomination, in this sacrilege in our land, the land of Biafra shall not spare you. If you are involved in any manner, whether you're the government of the zoo and the government of the zoo is using you, and whether you're Fulani in the military or Fulani as terrorists, if you're involved, you're in a land, you're committing crime, and I'm trying to keep it upon IPOB, spirit of our land, they will come after you, and it will be too long. Therefore, I will ask all of us to advise ourselves properly. Those of you who have made it a point to I don't know how to really put it properly, but those of you who have made it your work to attack IPOB for no just cause, to blame them for nothing, even when you have no evidence, no investigation, you blame them. You are yourself an Igbo man. You're yourself an Igbo man, an Ibibio man, a Biafran, an Enang man, an Efik man, and your normal Ikwere man. You are yourself blaming IPOB for a crime that the government is committing, and then hoping that you will get up and blame IPOB. If you are involved in this, remove your hand from that evil before it is too late for you. We must continue to put our leader in prayers. We must continue to commit him into the hand of God. We must continue to ask the ancestors, our ancestors, the spirits that guide our land, to preserve and protect it. We must continue until victory is achieved. Don't make any mistake. This battle is going on a minute tact basis, on a second tact basis. Let me even put it that way, because your enemy, they are not sleeping. You cannot as well sleep. IPOB must not sleep until we achieve victory and until we reach our destination, which is a free, independent, and sovereign Biafran nation. Next Friday, again, I will be here to continue this series. We must continue until our people understand what we are talking about. Biafra for us is not just our heritage. It is not just a name for us. Biafra is more than identity for us. Without Biafra, we are nothing. It is our being, and Biafra is our being, because Chukwuka, who made Biafra, he alone is him upon whom we give all honor, all glory, and all adoration. It is only to him that we bow down and worship, and not to anything that is made of man or anything that he himself created. To Chukwu Kabiama belongs all worship and all praise. And we must continue to give him all glory and ask him to, of course, no longer tarry, but quicken the freedom of his servant, and quicken the freedom of his children, the Biafran people. And I want to tell you, from me, from here, may Chukwokike be with all of you as ponder upon this very message tonight, as you ponder and as you try and use your common sense and know that the enemy is not the person or the movement that is trying to save you. When you have made that, and when you have come to that conclusion, I believe you will understand where IPOB is coming from. For me, from here, may Chukwu Abịama be with all of you, and good night. Thank you so much for listening.
We are the indigenous Biafrans. In case you never know, we are the chosen generation. In case you never know, we hidden through the call of our past heroes. Monsters are killing us, pressing silent, but we know that is evil. Everybody know, them know, you know, them we know. They don't want us to be free, cause we got it all. Out of this is Steven, then we go. Every inch and every mile they think we never go. Cause we need our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We demand our freedom. Everybody runs. Jano, everybody runs. Home now, home now. No turning back. No matter what I want to, can't stop the motion, cause this is revolution. From the beginning of time, suffering and tribulation, yeah. Marginalization and lies, they never wanna see us survive. The government, they always steal and kill. They wanna blow the candlelight of generations young. I feel the pain, but I believe in letter them. Yeah, the sunshine of life, no place like home. No place like home. Yeah. No turning back, no going back, no turning back till we take our home back. Freedom, we want our freedom. We want our freedom. We taking our freedom from the government. I know you know. That never. But tell all of them now. This is revolution. But tell all of them now. Missing again. I said missing again. Cause this is revolution. I said this is revolution. Seven lives, that's what I said. Yes, it's all we want. It's all we need. Not the person that love. It's better for us to die as heroes.